Hello friends, so in this video we are going to talk about substitution cipher. So in last video we saw what a Caesar cipher is. In Caesar cipher we were choosing a constant value of n. N can be anything from 0 to not 0, because if you are taking 0 then plaintext will remain the plaintext itself. So n can be anything from 1 to 25, right? But in case of substitution cipher, here we don't have any n. So all the plain text which we are going to encrypt, the ciphertext alphabet will be scrambled. So let's say we are taking such as plain text is A, which is scrambled to, let's say, X. B will be scrambled to G. C will be scrambled to H. D will convert to or will be encrypted to, let's say, S. E, Z, F, K, G, I, something like that. So there is, you can see here, there is no pattern involved in converting a plain text alphabet to a ciphertext alphabet. So this is a type of mono alphabetic substitution. So why we are calling it mono alphabetic substitution is that because whole plain text will be encrypted to ciphertext using a single table. So that means that whenever, let's say, A is repeating in the plain text, that A will be encrypted to X everywhere. It won't change to anything else. Okay. So let's see example how to do this substitution. So I'm taking a word, let's say today is fun. Okay. So I haven't written what T will be substituted with. So T will be substituted with, let's say, Z. Okay. So this T will become Z. O will be substituted with Y. So O will become Y. Right. D is substituted with S. You can see here. So D will become S. A will be substituted with X, as you can see in the table. Y we haven't denoted, so let's say Y is substituted with A. So this today will become ZYSXA, right? So this is how we use a substitution cipher. Let's say there is another uh, sentence after this, which is starting with a boy, right? So this A will be substituted with X, B will be substituted with G, O will be substituted with Y, right? So you can see that A is substituted with X here also and here also. So whenever we are using A in the plain text, it is substituted with X in the ciphertext, right? Similarly, this Y is substituted with A here, and this Y will be substituted with A here also, because um, here you can see that Y is encrypted to A, right? So this is how encryption is done in case of substitution cipher. Let's see how to do decryption also. So if we will go for decryption, we have to use the same table. So in that, as per the table, Z is substituted with E here. Sorry, Z was the substitution of E. So Z will be decrypt to E. Sorry, I did a mistake here. Let's say this is not Z. Let's say this is T. Okay, because this Z was repeating again here. We can't do this in substitution cipher, else we won't be able to decrypt, because if Z is decrypting to E also and Z is decrypting to T also, then the decryptor will get confused to what we have to decrypt to Z, to what we have to decrypt Z to. Okay, so Z is decrypting to T, so this Z will become T. Again, we are here decrypting it, so we are getting plain text. Similarly, Y is decrypting to O, so this will become O. S is decrypting to D, so this will become D. X is decrypting to A, and A is decrypting to Y. Right? So we got back today. Right? So you got the gist how substitution cipher is working. But one of the problem is here that this table this table should be with encryptor also and with decryptor also. So let's say if Alice is sending some message to Bob, both Alice and Bob should have this table. Then only they will encrypt and decrypt. Okay. So this was the substitution cipher, or we can say uh, mono alphabetic substitution cipher. Now we will see how to attack this. So if a attacker, or as we saw in the previous videos, that attacker is called Oscar or Eve. So let's take Oscar here. So Oscar got ciphertext which is encrypted using substitution cipher. So what is the possibility that he will be able to decrypt it even if you don't know the table? Okay, so one method is that he will use brute force attack or exhaustive key search attack. Okay, so what is that attack? So let's say there is a alphabet A in the ciphertext. Okay, we are talking about ciphertext which Oscar got. So A, the possibility of F being encrypted from some alphabet is 26, right? So A can be encrypted from A can be encrypted from B, A can be encrypted from C. Similarly, A to Z, all the possibilities are there, right? Again, one of the ciphertext alphabet is B. So now the possibility is 25, right? Because one of the alphabet was taken by A, and we know in substitution cipher that two alphabet can be encrypted to same, right? So here we saw by making mistake we got to know this thing. So E and T both can't be encrypted to Z, right? So B can be encryption of one of the 25 alphabets. Similarly till Z it will go. So my search space will be 26 into 25 into 24 into up to 1, right? Or which is equal to 26 factorial, right? So 26 factorial is approximately equal to 2 to the power 88. Okay, so when this substitution cipher were used, so for this 2 to power 88 key search, there was no such computer build, or there was no what we say it supercomputer build at that time that can uh, search for 2 to power 88 keys. Okay, so it's actually very difficult to crack at that time, but in today's world it's very easy to crack. So but there was some other method used to crack this. Okay, when we are talking about cipher, it's normally a big message sent or a large sentence sent from Alice to Bob, right? So when we see the frequency of letters in English word when used in a sentence, it was found that 12% of the word were 12% of the alphabet in a what we say sentence or in a paragraph were E, 9% were T, 8 A was 8.16%. So if you get a message like which is of 200 alphabet, 300 alphabet, and so on, then what we have to do is we have to find the frequency of the ciphertext. So let's say A was repeating. Uh, A was repeating one minute. Yep. So A was repeating 15 times. B was repeating 26 times. C was repeating 4 times. D was repeating 8 times. E was repeating 6 times. F was repeating 0. So you got the gist. Like I have a ciphertext like A Z Y K P Z A B Y S B something something. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm finding the frequency of this A. So this A in that ciphertext was 15 times. This B was 26 times. So similarly, we will find the frequency, and the most number of alphabet used in the ciphertext will probably be equal to E, because E is the most frequently used alphabet in a English language. Okay. So this method was used to break the ciphertext and get the plain text. So if we are using like in this example, B was used 26 times. So what we will do is we will replace B by E everywhere. Okay. So 12% of the ciphertext will be converted to plain text. Similarly, next frequently used was A. So I will uh, replace A with T. So again 9% is 9% of the ciphertext is converted to plain text. Okay, so this method was used to break the polyalphabetic substitution cipher. In the next video, we will see um, what is sorry. This was the example of monoalphabetic substitution cipher. In the next video, we will see what is polyalphabetic substitution cipher and how we can encrypt using polyalphabetic substitution cipher. So thanks for watching this video. Bye for now. Please go through next video to learn about polyalphabetic substitution cipher. Thank you.